How's it going, everyone? Welcome to episode 39 of the ControllerCast. I'm joined, as always, by the two most handsome men in the world, Andrew Eisenhower Ihausen. I don't know if you guys know, but he's actually a descendant of Eisenhower. And John, holy shit, I'm gonna come. What?
What an intro.
How's it going, guys? What's your week been like? Let's just kick it off.
I'll just kick it off because I had a slow ass week.
You had a shitty ass contagion week again.
What has been the start of this year has been a whirlwind for Casey and I. We've just been sick constantly. So we had COVID. I talked to you guys about that last week and probably the week before that. But this week, I literally randomly, out of nowhere, haven't seen anybody sick, haven't gone anywhere hardly. I went to lunch with Andrew on Saturday. It was lit. We had recorded last weekend's podcast early. And on that Saturday, right after we recorded, we went to Addie's. It's a sports bar in Omaha. And we had a good time. It was really good. Andrew's food wasn't the best, but I love my wings.
Yeah, too many onions. Bro, who makes a patty melt and layers both pieces of toast with onions in the bread, bro? Come on.
That's disgusting. I don't know people that like onions that much. Like, I like onion rings, but I'm not a big fan of like onions on my sandwiches and shit. But yeah, so that was literally like the only thing Casey and I did in terms of out and aboutness. And we wore a mask inside, we wore a mask out. And then all of a sudden, Monday, I started feeling a little wonky. And then Tuesday, I had 101 fever. And I slept from like 5 p.m. Tuesday until like 12 p.m., 10 a.m. Wednesday. Took the day off. I work from home and I felt like I needed the day off because I was just like dead. And then that entire night, I was like sweating my ass off and in bed, and my
Rolling
fever
around profusely.
Dude, yeah.
Tossing and turning.
One of those nights, can't get comfy. My fever got up to like 102.9 and it stayed at 102 for like.
Did it get up to 103.5?
103.5? Nah, it didn't.
That motherfucker would have been listening to Don FM in real life if he hit 103.5.
Ascending.
John would be hyped if he was at 103.5 degrees.
I probably would have like started dancing.
John would have actually been in purgatory listening to Jim Carrey talking to the light if he was at that high.
It's 5 a.m. I'm sick again. But yeah, that sucked. And I basically had a fever for like 3 straight days. So I was pretty much out for the count until like Thursday night. Thursday night, I started feeling pretty decent. I'm still a little congested, but besides that, I'm fine. Like at this point, it feels like I've just got allergies. So I wonder if I had like a little bout of the flu or something for some reason. I don't know. But pretty much all we did was like watch our normal shows. Like Thursday, we watched Peacemaker. Really good episode, actually. It's starting to heat up. 6 episodes
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker is actually pretty funny. Ursula, I think you and Tana would enjoy it if she liked Suicide Squad. But we watched Boba on Wednesday, aka spoilers, Mandalorian season 2.5. It's been really good. I mean, the last couple of episodes have been really good, but there's spoilers. There's no Boba Fett. Literally, he's like nowhere to be seen. And I'm sure that if you follow, I don't know, like the internet at all, or like anything related to Star Wars or Disney, that you've been seeing like the memes and stuff that Boba's like the most wanted character to have an appearance in his own show. But we watched that Wednesday. We finished Uncharted 3 finally.
Jesus, finally.
But shit.
It was like 3 weeks or so. Yeah.
John, the one guy to stretch a 7-hour game across 3 weeks.
Yeah, we did like 5 chapters almost a week. Like it was just, I don't know. I think it was because the story of it wasn't as entertaining, and the story like didn't really make sense. I feel like it just was like
That's my
like a
biggest
worm.
complaint with the game is the story is like has
Disjointed.
plot holes up the ass.
Yeah, it's so disjointed. But Casey really liked it for like the action scenes and stuff.
Did you rage at the fucking ghouls?
No, actually, I mean, I had it on easy difficulty,
Uh,
but it was really easy. I hardly died.
You killed Sully. You killed Sully. I'm gonna kill you all.
I actually, dude,
Yeah.
there's a Sully death scene in every single game. Every single game. And that one was actually really convincing. I was like, what the? But it was pretty good. I would say we'll talk the Uncharted games. So I'll save my major thoughts on it.
I'm actually most excited to talk about 3, funny enough, when we do that episode.
Because I feel like there's a lot of memes with it. Like it's so disjointed. It's so freaking disjointed.
The Naughty Dog B team had to make that while A2 made Last of Us.
Yeah, that's what I told Casey too, and she's like, I never would have guessed. She really enjoyed Uncharted 3, which I'm surprised because we took so long to play it, and every time we booted it back up, we were like, what's going on again? Like, why are we here? What are we doing? And I actually don't think that was a fault of us as much as the actual game, because it didn't make sense, especially that like 4-chapter section where like literally nothing happens. You're just fighting enemies.
Neil Druckmann's presence sorely lacking, barely present.
My presence is a present. Kiss my ass.
But besides watching Boba Fett and playing Uncharted 3, some Fortnite, the new season of Sideswipe, which is not as good as season 1. And
what's the difference?
They took away Hoops.
Dude, Hoops was lit.
Game mode. Dude, I almost got to Diamond in Hoops.
Hoops was actually fun.
Mode. It was, and then
because Hoops on regular Rocket League sucks ass, but on Sideswipe it was actually fun, and they took it out for what? At what cost? For what?
Volleyball. They added casuals though. I like the fact that they added casuals, so I can just like mess around, and you still get XP, and that's really why I play the game, is for the XP and for the items. But there's no Rocket League crossover either, so I'm like, but that was pretty much it, actually. That was like actually, no. Yesterday, I did end up going to brunch with just Jared, and shout out to Jared. That was a really fun time. We got like our own champagne bottle and orange juice for mimosas, and we got chicken and waffles, and it was fire. If you guys are ever in the 144th and Pacific area and want a really good brunch, the Rusty Nail Pub is actually really fire. So we did that, and then I went back to his apartment, hung out for a bit, and then went back home. We hung out with some other friends that night, Acacia, Dylan, and Zach. I don't know if they listen, but shout out to you guys. Had a really good time. We played this like really intense board game too that was, I can't even remember what it's called, but it was like one of those board games where there's like literally like 8 to 10 rules, and like you can do like 8 to 10 things per turn. Like you've got
what's
like
the game called?
I can't remember. I'll have to text Casey really quick and see if she remembers what the game is called. But it was really fun. And Dylan, if you're listening, you always have the best board games. Like he'll go to like actual board game shops and get like legit ass games, not like some simpleton sorry or trouble ass shit. Like it's
sorry or trouble.
It's like, or it's like if you take the depth of Clue and multiply that by like 10. It was like a zombie survival board game. It was really fun though. We only got halfway through it though after like an hour and a half of playing, because explaining the game took like 30 minutes at least.
I was like board games I was like those kind of games that are like a little bit more fast paced. Like that's why I kind of like Clue. I feel like it's like usually like less than 30 minutes. Clue is one of my favorite board games.
Yeah.
Professor Plum in the lounge with the knife.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't played Clue in a bit actually, but besides that,
I used to play that with
went
Bo
on-
and Cody all the time in high school.
I remember, yeah, you guys had a Clue phase.
Yeah.
Well, Casey and I also went on a little La Mesa date and then went to Walmart and got some goodies and shit. Like
I always
some
heard La
candy.
Mesa's ass. Is that true?
I love La Mesa.
It's
I don't know
pretty
about you.
mid.
What?
Their margaritas are good, but their food, like last time I went there, I got like steak fajitas, and the steak was like a fucking like the bottom of a shoe. It was so fucking bad.
Really?
Yeah, and they use that nasty ass like white American cheese that's like fucking disgusting.
No, I love their cheese.
No, their cheese is so bad. bro.
Tex-Mex, that's mid, is like some of the worst food ever.
No, dude. Well, I and everyone that was, dude, it was a packed house. It's always like
Their
super-
margaritas are good, and their chips and salsa they give you for free before you order food is good.
Their salsa's fire.
But then it stops. The buck stops there.
It is a little expensive, but I like it. I like it. But that was pretty much it. I think that was like absolutely everything that we did this week.
Jeez.
You
about
should go to
you, Andrew?
Moolah.
Oh, Moolah, so good.
Oh,
bro.
Moolah. Amanda
Go to
goes to
Moolah.
Moolah like weekly.
So good.
Yeah, Moolah's heat.
I
You
think
should go
they
there.
alternate between Moolah and like Taco Co.
Oh,
Amanda
they're
and
owned by the same place, so that's a good
Oh,
rotation
really?
to have.
I don't know.
Amanda, she actually got recognized by the owner of those. He owns like one more restaurant that they
Yeah,
go to,
Maria's.
too.
It's in Ralston.
Yeah. She got a gift card and a thank you note because of like posting about them and like going to eat there like weekly. She got a gift card
Damn,
and a
what the-
thank you note.
Dude, I've been to Taco
How much was
Bell
on the gift
4
card?
weeks in a fucking
Like
row. I haven't gotten
$50, I think.
anything.
So like
Yeah.
a dinner. But I was like, shit, that's awesome. But yeah, she got like a gift card for just going. And maybe it's because she posts about him too and like
Yeah, maybe I
raves
should
about him
post.
all the time.
We go
Yeah,
there
maybe.
with Jordan's mom we've gone there 4 or 5 weeks, 4 or 5 Thursdays in a row now. That's like Thursdays.
And Thursdays. Well, Amanda's probably gone to one of those places every day for like a year and a half or 2 years straight.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Get on her level,
Yeah.
bro.
It's so good
Yeah.
though. We get the same waiter every time. We like request him. He's fucking awesome.
Did you
Yeah,
go
John,
there
you
this
should-
week?
Yeah, we did. We went on Thursday.
Yeah, John, you should go to Moolah. If you like La Mesa. I mean, Moolah's heat.
Oh, there's a place in
Taco Co is
Ralston.
my favorite taco.
There's a place in Ralston that we went yesterday. That's like La Mesa. It's called Margaritas. And it's
I've heard of that.
really fucking good. They have really good their ground beef is like shredded instead of like
So like barbacoa.
yeah, kind of like that. It's
Ooh,
really fucking good.
that sounds fire. Well, how was your week then, Andrew?
Oh, pretty run of the mill class, and me forgetting until literally this morning that I have a fucking quiz that's worth 5% of my grade tomorrow that I just forgot about.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I didn't really didn't do a whole lot. I've been playing through Legends Arceus pretty slowly. I'm trying to like milk it until like at least like March, just so I don't fucking run out of games to play again. So I've been taking it pretty slow, but it's super fun so far. Would highly recommend.
I saw this video where if you like aim while you're like walking on a mountain, you can just like walk endlessly up the mountain if you just like aim.
Yeah. If you try to lock on aim, the game will just like forget about all the physics, and you can just fucking like scale mountains without even trying.
That's funny.
It's pretty funny like seeing a game like this that's like yeah, it's kind of like unpolished, but it makes it almost more fun because you can just do like fucking wacko shit in the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it like glitches or is it like features?
It's more like exploits is what I would call it. Because you have to actually try to make the glitches happen. But if you try to make the glitches happen, they'll happen. Like there's parts that like you obviously have to go around a mountain, and I would just like try to like clip into like the wall to like just keep going up.
Oh,
instead
just
of, like,
jumping on.
Yeah, I would just like keep hitting random spots and clipping through.
That's like a classic strat in any game with a mountain, just
Yeah.
spamming the jump button. See,
It's really fun though. I really enjoy it. It's a nice evolution for the franchise because the standard like very linear ones have gotten pretty stale lately. Like the one I gave you, John, Pokemon Black, is probably like the last time it actually felt new
Yeah.
and fresh. So
I'm not gonna lie, Arceus looks freaking fun. It
yeah,
looks really fun from
Arceus,
what I've seen.
it's a banger, and I think people now a lot of people are getting to the end of the game, and I think the consensus is that the reviews were pretty spot on, that it's actually deserves the score it got.
so would you say that it's like an 8.5 then for you, or higher?
Yeah, I'd say like 8.5 or 9. I'm only like a third of the way through the story, so I don't really have too much to complain about or too much insight on how the actual like end game is, but I've been seeing hella TikToks and shit on Twitter about it, so seems like the general consensus is that it is a very good game, or a great game that has flaws that they can build on for the next one.
The next one will be probably amazing.
I hope
Like,
so,
10 out
because
of
they have
10
like the
shit.
groundwork now. Because like I'm like, man, this is like very similar to Breath of the Wild, but Breath of the Wild also got like 7 years of dev time, and this got like maximum of like 2.5, maybe 3. So
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, we saw Jackass Forever on Friday. That was very funny. It's like almost like I think it's the last one they're doing,
Yeah,
but it's like kind of like a greatest hits one. Like there's a lot of their old stuff that like the good ones from the old movies that they like recreate, like with little twists. It was pretty funny. They had a lot of special guests. Like they had Tyler the Creator on one of them, and they had Eric Andre on a few of them. And then Jasper, one of the guys in Golf Wang, is like a main star on Jackass now. So that was
that's
funny.
I saw that MGK is also in it.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of cameos in the whole movie. Yeah, MGK, just like the one that he's on, he just gets fucking annihilated. It's pretty fucking funny.
Good. I'm gonna watch it just because of that.
Yeah, but other than that, Jordan's just student teaching, so we're kind of like, once we get home, we just kind of cook dinner, go out, and then just go to bed pretty early. But it's just doing some stuff here or there. It's been pretty chill, which has helped with my master's class, getting all that shit done. So not too bad of a week.
So I guess my week pretty low key, honestly. I have a fucking midterm for my comp sci class that unlocks like right after we finish recording, and I've just been like kind of being a little anxious about it the whole week. Not even because it's like, oh, I don't think I know the material or anything. It's like, I don't know why, I just get like really anxious about tests. Especially I think the thing is like the whole like how multiple choice is just kind of meant to trip you up. I hate that shit. And then like,
Yeah, that's just stupid.
and like I think the other thing is like how much of it is like part of your grade. Like it's like there's a lot riding on like, like one exam in like every class, especially in college. Like there's only 2 exams in this course, and each one is 20% of your grade. So
Sheesh.
I'm like, I mean, like, I think I'll do good, but I'm just kind of like, fuck. I just want to get this bullshit over with.
That's the main thing I don't miss about college. Just that anxiety, that general all the time anxiety. You just have it always.
Well, like
just a little bit.
I'm in a Discord for the class because like someone made a Discord, so like everyone's in it chatting, right? And like kind of the general consensus is like it's kind of strange to be doing like an exam for something like computer science, because when you're like programming, you're coding or anything, you always have the internet at your disposal. Like, and like that computer science and like programming is like something that's very like self-teachable. So it's kind of like, well, like why am I sitting here doing like multiple choice like conceptual problems when like in any proper circumstance, like if I'm programming, if I literally fuck anything up, like literally like programming is all about trial and error. And then also like you have Google, like anytime I don't know how to do something, that's like quick Google search explains it, like it's all right there on the internet because, it's kind of like
The internet is code.
yeah, literally. Like it's all there. But that's that for school. Besides that, what is it? Oh, I thought this was kind of funny. I don't know why. I didn't even realize. I thought I had a Horizon 2 and Horizon 2 and Elden Ring in my GameFly queue, but I guess for some reason I had fucking Dying Light 2 in there, and they shipped that for some reason. They shipped that because I had that in the queue, and I was just like, huh, okay, I guess maybe I'll try out Dying Light 2 then next week. But besides that, rewatched True Detective season 1 this week, because I told my friend about it, that's staying with me, which I'll just say this: it's still my favorite season of TV besides Breaking Bad season 5 and like Game of Thrones like season 4. Like True Detective season 1 is fucking amazing, and literally like I'd recommend it to anyone because it's kind of like an anthology where each season is its own completely like self-contained story. And like, man, season 1, bro, Matthew McConaughey, career best performance in that, like better than Interstellar, better than like Dallas Buyers Club or whatever. Like Matthew McConaughey has a powerhouse performance in that fucking show, like fucking insane. And that's kind of what I spent most of my week doing, is just rewatching that first season of True Detective, and playing Warzone and Fortnite and shit like that. But really, the one thing that I was thinking about playing, but I didn't end up playing, was Grand Theft Auto. But speaking of Grand Theft Auto, just trying to find the goofiest transition. GTA 6 looks like it was kind of finally unceremoniously announced by Rockstar. They didn't call it GTA 6. They stopped just short of that. But they said the next iteration, or the next installment of the GTA
Infinite.
Yeah. Literally, one thing I'll say about this, I thought it was funny in the press release they put out that like, due to the unprecedented longevity of GTA 5, it's like, buddy, you're the one who's made it that long.
Yeah, bro,
it's your fault, damn it.
Yeah, you create how long this game lasts, you fuck. Like, don't go, oh, this is unprecedented. Yeah, because you fucking made it happen, you idiot. No one forced you.
Yeah,
I mean, they made billions though. That's crazy.
That's like saying, oh, we're the top selling game of all time on console. Like, yeah, because you released on 6 fucking consoles. No shit. And PC.
True.
But it's, I guess, yeah, it is finally announced, but thoughts on this? I think, in terms of timeline, if I had to make a guess, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going by usual Rockstar tradition. We get like a trailer in the fall. They announce that's supposed to come out in fall 2023, and it's actually going to come out in fall of 2024. But yeah, what's the heat check on this announcement?
I always thought 2025. Honestly,
it's like so far away. Like I'm glad they like announced what everybody knew was happening, but like, God, it's so far away. Like I'm probably gonna forget about it in like a week, and then won't remember it until whenever they drop a trailer.
Yeah, and I'm sure the trailer is gonna be so low key that like we won't be able to tell the true scope of the game.
They'll have a trailer for the trailer. It'll be like a 30-second one that's like trailer coming November 3rd.
I hate that shit. I hope they don't do that.
Rockstar is like the one company that I feel like could just shadow drop like fucking Grand Theft Auto. Like that would
still sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, that would be fucking insane. What if like they put out trailers like 1 week from today, GTA 6 coming out? Like,
I think everyone would lose their shit.
Literally, I would probably like go into cardiac arrest. Like, I need a fucking defib on me.
I would need to take a week off of work.
Yeah. That's definitely that. I don't think I've ever done that.
I think that's a game release that I would do that on.
Yeah, I think I would actually take some time. As long as they better not like give us the story first and then like,
that's
all right,
that's probably...
in a year we're gonna have online. Like,
yeah, didn't they do that with GTA 5 when it came out on PS3? Wasn't there like a delay?
It was like a month delay.
Yeah, they did that with Red Dead Online too. Like the multiplayer didn't come out until like a like an
I feel
entire
like
month after.
I feel like now though, like GTA Online's so profitable, there's no reason for that. Like that would come out for before the single player, if anything.
It should anyway.
Like motherfuckers want money.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know if they do that to like force people to play the story and not just do
I think
online.
so.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I mean, I kind of like it because I mean, I end up playing story.
Hey, but
That's what I end up
also
doing.
we got a release date for GTA 5 online for PS5, which is free for
March
PlayStation
15th.
owners, March 15th. Free for PS5 owners for the first 3 months.
For the first 3 months.
I think you just have to claim it. It's probably like
You
it's
probably
like
just have to
PlayStation
go
Plus,
on. Yeah, it's probably like the $1 million bonus where you just go unlock it and then it's I like PlayStation Plus.
which
No.
I'm not. I mean, as much as I love the GTA 5 campaign, I'm not going to buy
Unless the
fucking game again.
campaign is like $10, which it's fucking not gonna be. Like
Yeah,
I'm not buying
yeah,
that
that's-
shit again.
If it were like a $10 upgrade, I'd probably do it.
Yeah, I mean, I did that for Uncharted 4.
finally
I had
play
no
through it.
reason to buy the fucking Uncharted 4 upgrade. I have Uncharted 4. I played it before.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still bought the upgrade for that free Tom Holland ticket, bro.
For that.
But speaking of things that are outlasting their welcome, the Switch has passed the PS1 and Wii. So that's interesting. And
I knew it would.
Nintendo
it.
said it's in the middle of
Called
its life cycle. It's fucking 5 years old, so I hope it's not in the middle of its fucking life cycle right now. I hope this is the tail
Yeah,
end.
Jesus Christ, blow my brains out if we're halfway through the life cycle.
But yeah, this as much as I love the Switch, like hearing them say it's like in the middle of its life cycle makes me go like, oh, fuck, like this sucks.
Cringe. That's cringe.
If they would have said, oh, it's got like a year or two left, I would have been like, okay, that's fine.
Honestly, I wouldn't be as mad if they would have made an upgraded dock or something. All they need is an upgraded dock that you could buy for like $200. Call it the Switch Pro. And with the USB-C technology, like at least when you put it in the dock, you could make a game run really fucking well. But no, Nintendo
Bro,
doesn't want to.
the
they
Switch
don't
ran
do
out of
that.
fucking Switch ran out of steam after fucking Smash Ultimate came out, and then they just dropped.
And then
one
it
game a
like
year
bounced
and
back like when COVID started, and then it like now it's fucking dead again.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if they had controller, like I love the Pro controllers, they're great. And I actually like the Switch Pro controllers. They're like one of my favorite controllers ever, just by the feel and the battery life, especially. But Joy-Cons are shit, dude. They're terrible.
Yeah,
And they make me not want to play like any game that requires just the Joy-Cons. Like Mario Party, I can't play that shit
I
anymore.
hate
I
how
don't even have
small-
working Joy-Cons.
That's why I
Hey.
like the new Mario Party, because you can use a Pro controller on it.
No shit. I might have
Yeah.
to pick it up just for that reason.
It's actually
I
Mario
hate
Party
how
Superstar
fucking
is actually
small
pretty good.
the goddamn sticks are on it. It's like the size. They're like joysticks for a fucking toddler, bro. They're so goddamn small.
Bro, whenever I use them, like I have to like crunch my hand at such an angle that like my thumbs are like twitching while I'm like not using it. It's like such a bad angle.
I can't believe I played probably like 50 hours of Breath of the Wild with those things. I can't believe it. But
Yeah.
I started Breath of the Wild with Joy-Cons, and then I started using a Pro controller, and I don't think I ever looked back because like the Pro controller made it so much easier to play.
All right. So just a quick question to you guys, just because we have talked about this one before. What is a updated final tally for Switch final sales? I'm gonna say 135 million.
I think that's a pretty good number.
I'm gonna say it probably passes 140. Like
If
140.
they release an actual revision, like a DS to DSi type thing, and it gets counted like that, I think it'll probably become like get very close to hitting the DS, but I don't think it will pass it.
Something
back
that
to like 2017 when I told you guys that it would easily pass the Wii, and you were like, nah, no way.
yeah, honestly, yeah, eat my words on that.
Well, now I look at the game lineup and I'm like, damn, I kind of wish it failed.
Didn't.
Yeah, I don't know how it did with the game lineup, to be honest. There aren't games for it.
Hey, all you fucking casuals out there, buying Switches in 2022, suck a fucking dick.
Go
Yeah.
buy a real man's console. An Xbox One X.
Yeah, a Google Stadia.
Yeah.
That's a real bad shit right there.
Yeah, that's hardcore gamer shit right there.
An Xbox One.
Bro. I would honestly, I would tear up if if the Switch surpassed the fucking PS2.
I hope it
PS2
doesn't.
just goated at that number one spot, 160 million. Like that's fucking unprecedented.
Even the
Like
DS, I'd be
156,
like I'd be like low key like mad if it passed the DS because the DS is a fucking all timer.
Isn't the DS at like 152 or some shit?
It's like
Yeah.
154. It's like a million or two under PS2. It's like very close.
Damn, the DS is an all-timer. Everyone, Casey had a DS, dude. Everyone.
Bro,
had
I
a
still have a DS. I have a DS, a DSi, a 3DS. I got it all, baby.
Goddamn.
Yeah. If the PS5 is going the way it's selling, maybe the PS5 will fucking
I got
outsell the
both
PS2.
both of these fuck faces sitting right next to me.
Damn. I'd be really surprised if the PS5 surpassed the PS2, but I could see it surpassing the PS4.
Yeah, PS4 is like at 118.
The trajectory the PS5 is on is fucking insane right now.
I can't believe the Switch is going to pass the PS4, actually. I thought the PS4 had more momentum right now, but I guess not.
Not right
And it
now.
sputtered after 110 million.
Yeah, just because PS5, I think people are just, moving on to the next thing. But speaking of Sony,
Damn it, I had a really good segue.
What was your segue? I just want to hear it before.
Oh, I was gonna say, and one thing that will push the PS5 over the PS4 is Sony's acquisition of Bungie Studios.
Yeah, so okay, like in terms of news, that would probably be the biggest fucking news of the year if the biggest news of the year didn't happen fucking 2 weeks ago. Sony reacting to Microsoft's fucking big acquisition fucking hunting spree. Sony bought Bungie for $3.6 billion. Sony, not even just PlayStation, Sony's biggest acquisition by like a fucking mile. Just for reference,
really a reaction though. It wasn't a reaction because apparently it's been in the works for a while, like 6 months.
Yeah. I feel like it was a reaction to them buying Bethesda, but not Activision. Because there's no way you can pull a deal like this together in like 2 weeks. But what a crazy timeline we're in. Crash is owned by Microsoft now, and Bungie is owned by Sony, the makers of Halo, if people don't know. But if you're like living under a fucking rock. But just for reference, like, the scope of this, like Minecraft got bought by Microsoft for $2 billion. Star Wars got bought by Disney for $4 billion. Marvel got bought by Disney for $4 billion. This is a big acquisition, and I think it's just my take on it. One, it shows how big actually big Destiny 2 is, and also I think this was actually a really smart acquisition on Sony's part, because if last generation on the PS4 gen, they knocked it out of the park with like single player games, but they kind of walked away totally from like live service multiplayer games. And in terms of like expanding their their revenue sources and things like that, Bungie now joining their portfolio pretty much like fills their live service multiplayer gap, because Destiny is like, besides I would say like Fortnite and Grand Theft Auto Online, is like one of the big players in the like whole live service game like mantra.
Going free to play probably really helped it too.
But I think this is an interesting little like group we have here in terms of this topic, because I love Destiny 2. Like, it was my most played game last year, and I think it's like one of the best games of the generation. But I know you guys don't like it, so like was this kind of I want to know what your guys' take is on this, because I'm not actually that surprised, because Destiny 2 is fucking huge, and I think they're going to use Bungie's like live service expertise to implement it into like their other games like Factions 2 and shit like that. And 1.2 billion of the 3.6 billion is going to the fucking employees. They want to keep the fucking Bungie staff, because they want that. Like this was very much like not just buying Destiny 2, but buying Bungie. They're investing in Bungie and how Bungie can contribute to like the PlayStation ecosystem. But what are your guys' take on, what do you guys think of this? Like, as people who, aren't really into Destiny, like, what did you guys make of this? Your initial thoughts?
Honestly, my initial thoughts were, I hope that they do something other than Destiny. like I'm glad that they've got these resources and stuff, because Bungie, I mean, they made the original Halo games and those were amazing. I'm just hoping that they use the resources to put out something else. But I do like appreciate the fact that eventually Destiny 2, well, Destiny 2 itself probably would never be a PlayStation exclusive, but like,
Yeah, definitely not.
but maybe, I mean, if they make another banging shooter game that is so widely received like that, it could be a PlayStation exclusive, which is really cool. But yeah, I don't know why I'm like, the first Destiny I played quite a bit of, and then I think what turned me off to Destiny 2 was the fact that it was so similar and in the beginning. And I know that there's a lot more content and stuff, but I was just like, this just feels like the first one to me.
Yeah, the pretty much it's like universally the biggest issue with the game right now is that trying to bring new people into the game is like borderline fucking impossible, because like the whole onboarding process is fucking garbage. Like
It was terrible. It made me not want to play anymore.
Yeah, the onboard, like even when I was trying to go through it with you guys, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like I was like,
you're like, I never had to do this shit.
Yeah, I was just like I was kind of talking to someone about this, where it's like Destiny 2 is like, it's almost like fucking like Trump voters, you know. It's like you have this just like huge silent majority of people that are like playing this game. And it's funny because like everyone that's like within these walls, like, is it really that's like clicked with the game or gotten into it? Everyone I've talked to is like, this game is like fucking amazing. Like, but everyone outside of that wall of like Destiny players, is everyone is always like, why is this, like, people still play this game? Like, or like, what the what the fuck is this stupid shit? Like,
it's very polished, I will say that.
Yeah, like, it's really weird because polished. Yeah, it's just like a weird it's like a weird circumstance, like where like there's a huge community behind it, but like everyone outside of that community is just kind of like has like a question mark over their head with the game.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping that they do. I just hope they do something else, like, and they will eventually. But
Sony PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, that's actually a battle royale.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wasn't able to get you guys into it, but one of my other friends that I'm actually going to visit in Colorado after Omaha, like he got into the game, and like, you know, like it's kind of, yeah, like if you can actually get into it, it has like some of the best fucking, Jesus Christ, my cat's screaming. Just has like some of the best content in gaming. Like it's like my brother's favorite game besides like Bloodborne. And I mean, Last of Us 2 is in his top 5 as well, just to know the company he keeps in his top 5. Yeah, like I said, I think it's one of the best games of the generation. Honestly, now I have that opinion after playing it a shit ton this past year. But yeah, Andrew, I didn't get your take. Like, what was your kind of first opinion, first thoughts, or like, what's your impressions of this?
I mean, like I said, when Microsoft did Activision, like I don't really like consolidation.
I agree, 100%.
Although this one, I feel like okay, so like the Activision one seemed like a multiplayer based one for Xbox, because like Overwatch, Call of Duty, all that shit. I feel like this one makes more sense than when Microsoft acquired Bethesda, because I feel like the Bethesda one just seemed like they were just like, oh, big studio, let's get it. But like the Activision and Microsoft one, I feel like was, I mean, I could see how it would be like a multiplayer oriented one.
Mm-hmm.
I am glad that Sony is actually buying somebody who does live service, because I know they like invested in Fortnite, which, like, you know, what does that mean for PlayStation really? But like, now that they own like a huge live service game company, I feel like maybe we can get another good live service game. So I saw they were gonna put out 10 of them by 2026, so
yeah,
they at least have ambition.
I mean, we know, like I saw Neil Druckmann tweet, like Naughty Dog is making three games right now, and I mean, I know we meme on it, but I mean, Factions 2 is definitely one of them. So like, they're probably going to try to take some of Bungie's expertise with that.
No, it's not. It's Factions 3. They're just skipping 2, I bet. Factions 2 doesn't exist.
Factions 2 will not happen.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem. I have a problem with consolidation, but I I guess now, like looking at it from this lens, like Activision going to Microsoft and Bungie going to Sony, like makes sense for intention purposes, but it also makes the Bethesda thing look even weirder, in my opinion. I think.
I think
Yeah.
Sony got a lot better deal with the
Yeah.
resources that they're getting for 3.6 billion versus the resources that Microsoft is getting from Activision.
It's just funny that like until Infinite, I mean, like the best Halo games were made by fucking Bungie, who is now a PlayStation property. Like the best
Master
Halo.
Chief is a PlayStation character. Damn it, he's gonna be in the next PS All Stars game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what was I I think though this is kind of like a win-win for everyone because they're not making Destiny 2 exclusive. So essentially Sony is getting like all like Bungie's live service expertise and the cash flow from Destiny 2. And then Bungie is getting an extreme amount of cash flow from Sony. So essentially more resources. So like I guess pretty much every Destiny player is going to get a win out of this, in my opinion. But they did say that Jim Ryan, the CEO of PlayStation, did say more acquisitions are coming from PlayStation. This is not the last acquisition. More are coming soon.
Rockstar, baby. GTA 6 will be a PlayStation exclusive.
So I guess kind of kicking over the hypothetical question, what could you, what would you want to see or what could you see PlayStation buying? I know we were talking about off the air Square Enix. People have been talking about maybe some of the companies I've seen being thrown around are Square Enix, PlayStation potentially buying, Konami, so they could get like Metal Gear Solid and things like that. Also, I would love to. It'd be really cool if they bought From Software, which are the people who made Bloodborne, all the Souls games, Sekiro, Elden Ring coming out at the end of this month. So I could see them being. I would love for them to buy fucking From Software because that'd be crazy. Also, now kind of a crazy next few months for PlayStation because now you can add Destiny 2's next expansion to their release schedule. So you have Horizon, then Destiny 2, Witch Queen, then Gran Turismo 7 all coming out like back to back, which I think is kind of funny.
I feel like they might, I don't know. Like, I feel like Square Enix makes sense with the Final Fantasy VII remake, like initially being an exclusive or whatever. And maybe even Konami, I think would make sense too. It's definitely going to be smaller companies, I feel like. Like, yeah, Rockstar is a nice dream. Having GTA 6 be a PlayStation exclusive would be a meme, I feel like.
Cream-worthy.
It would be a meme. But I don't think that's going to happen. I was like, in my mind, I was like, what if they just went and bought EA, like some giant ass company like that? But nah, I doubt it. It's going to be smaller companies.
I saw something where it said like through 2023, they have a budget of like 10 billion for acquisitions.
Oh, wow. That's quite a bit. But they've already used
throw out GTA then.
Yeah. Rockstar's got to be worth like 50 billion on their own.
GTA is owned by Rockstar is owned by Take-Two, which is worth $13 billion.
They just bought Zynga.
Yeah, Take-Two. They did buy Zynga.
I'm looking. Yeah, Take-Two's worth 20 billion.
That seems low to me.
Why does that seem low to you? That's a lot of money.
It is a lot, but like,
think about how much of that is coming straight from one GTA.
Yeah, GTA alone, dude, probably pulls in $1 billion a year at least.
Oh yeah, definitely. Probably more. I'm pretty sure.
Probably a lot more
with the shark cards.
Shark cards.
Well, I mean, like, I don't even. What does Take-Two have besides GTA?
And Rockstar.
Don't they make NBA?
Do they
2K? I know they have. They have BioShock, but I mean, it's unconfirmed, but there is a new BioShock being made. But they do have BioShock. I'm trying to think.
Oh yeah, BioShock, Borderlands, GTA, Red Dead, NBA 2K.
The Borderlands stands.
I mean, even Red Dead is huge. I mean, Red Dead 2, we were talking like sold like 50 million copies, which is only like second to like fucking like Minecraft or like it's like only behind like Wii Sports, Minecraft, and like GTA 5.
That's actually bonkers. I didn't think that many people played it.
Yeah, Red Dead. I remember when I bought Red Dead 2, when I went to Red Dead 2 to the midnight release, there was like a line at GameStop of like hundreds of people.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hadn't seen I had seen that for like the PS4 release.
yeah. I was like
But
completely
not
thrown
even
off
that
guard.
many.
Yeah. And it was like October, end of October. It was like freezing fucking cold. There was like some people I saw from school in that line. It was kind of fucking funny, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess yeah, I'm gonna say From Software, but yeah, what would you guys say?
I'm gonna just throw out a guess and say like Square Enix. I could see that. I feel like that makes
I think
sense.
Square Enix or Konami are the only two I could see them getting. Just
Maybe
because,
like
like,
Capcom, some weird shit like that.
just because I feel like so many people think like
Yeah, Capcom
Final,
could be one.
like Final Fantasy and Metal Gear Solid, like so many
Was it
people
like
probably think those are PS exclusive franchises in the first place. Like, I mean, I definitely associate Metal Gear Solid and Final Fantasy with PlayStation. Like, I'm not like, oh yeah, I can't wait to play Metal Gear Solid on my fucking Xbox.
yeah, and I mean PlayStation already has fucking Kojima with like Death Stranding. Like if they bought
Mhm.
Metal Gear Solid, he
They
could
could put
return
him
to
back
fucking
on that
Metal Gear
bitch.
Yeah, yeah. The grand return of the king. Kojima.
Yeah, maybe PT can come out of development hell and actually get uncanceled because goddamn
Nah,
it, I wanted
it'll
that
never
game
come
so
out.
bad, bro.
Oh, that would be a cardiac arrest moment if like
Bro,
they
I was down
re-announced
bad
PT.
for PT. That was that fucking demo was so fucking amazing.
That's like the scariest game
PS4
I've
with
ever
the
played.
demo installed $10,000.
I know. Honestly, PT is the scariest game I've ever played, and it's 30 minutes long.
Yeah,
PT
It
is
was
fucking.
scary the first couple of times, yeah. The scariest game I've ever played was probably Outlast, actually.
Outlast
Outlast.
is.
At first, don't give me that look, damn it.
Outlast is a good horror game, but it's not like the best.
Like the first 30 minutes of that is pretty terrifying, I think. I showed Casey it and she thought it was wild.
Yeah, Outlast is pretty creepy. It's because you don't have any weapons in that game, so you just have to fucking hide from people.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It's anxiety inducing.
Yeah. Speaking of anxiety inducing, Uncut Gems, our main topic for the day.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's talk about our main topic, Uncut Gems.
Podcasts and web shows are on the rise, and for good reason. They're great sources of entertainment and can be great listens in multitudes of situations like long drives or intense study sessions. Maybe, just maybe, you have an idea for a show or podcast that you want to put out into the world. Well, lucky for you, it's never been easier to jump into podcasting thanks to the wonderful people at Anchor.fm. Anchor takes care of most of the back-end work of podcasts. No more are the days of coordinating releases on multiple platforms, paying for a podcast hosting subscription to hold your RSS feed, or other hassles. Anchor sets up your podcast on all the major podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple automatically. They even provide sleek and easy-to-use editing tools that can be accessed from your phone or computer to get your podcast to the world through the path of least resistance. Anchor also matches you up with sponsors so that you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and even gives you in-depth stats for your shows like total plays, regions of viewership, as well as what kind of devices your show is being listened on. Here's the best part about all of this. It's free. So what are you waiting for? Anchor has everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. If you're ready to add your voice and vision to the mix, it's never been easier. And I highly recommend you go the way of Anchor.fm, just like the ControllerCast did. So here you go. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. That's Anchor.fm.
All right, so getting into the main topic, we're talking about the 2019 A24 film, Uncut Gems, featuring Adam Sandler, Lakeith Stanfield, forgetting who the wife is, but she's pretty big too. Why am I forgetting her name? She was in Wicked and she was in Frozen.
Glee.
Yeah, Abel Tesfaye, The Weeknd. We're talking about Uncut Gems today. So this movie is
Idina Menzel.
Idina Menzel, yeah, Idina Menzel. Yeah, starring all those motherfuckers. And Kevin Garnett. Yeah, so this movie is a pretty interesting one. Let's just kind of go right into our expectations and kind of initial thoughts. So When I first heard about this movie, I heard that, I mean, it's no surprise, we're all big Weekend fans. Uh, and essentially, like, like a year before the movie came out, it was like Weekend attached to like Adam Sandler, like A24 thriller film. And I was like, what the fuck is what? Adam Sandler in a thriller film and the Weekend's in it? So I was like, interesting. But I already so that actually got my eyes on it because I was like, I don't see the Weekend being in like a comedy movie. So and then also I saw, it's by A24, which A24 is like in a league of its own for like movies, like Hereditary, Moonlight, a lot of really good shit coming out nowadays. So that also got me interested. And then eventually I went to go see it, and I actually watched it in theaters. Me and Andrew both watched it in theaters when it first came out. Had very different first impressions of the film. I don't know if that still stands, but at least our initial experiences with the movie. I watched it, and honestly, I loved it. And I'm saying this like I do not like Adam Sandler, and I thought he was like fucking amazing. This movie, I think what it sets out to do, and like what it's trying to like kind of make you feel, and kind of what it's conveying and things like that. It does a really good job of doing those things. And really, I was just kind of blown away by the movie. I honestly loved it. Like right after I watched it, and it's been a movie that I always love quoting and referencing and things like that. You always see so many memes and stuff like that about it on Twitter. There's so many quotable lines from this movie, I feel like, which that's actually one takeaway like that I've had ever since I watched the movie. Is like the script in this movie is really fucking good. Like the dialogue specifically is really good in this movie because it feels like so realistic. People are like talking over each other constantly. It's not just like one person talks, now the next person talks. Like it's so chaotic, and people are always yelling and talking over each other. Like I can't even imagine what the script for this fucking film looks like what the dialogue even looks like. It'd probably be fucking insane. But I honestly really, really liked it. And yeah, like, expectations going in were, they weren't high, but they weren't low either. But honestly, I thought like, I mean, I think this is pretty well regarded as like Adam Sandler's fucking best role. And I would love for Adam Sandler to be in more movies like this. And honestly, I thought it was a fucking great movie. But what about you, Andrew? Because I know you also saw it when it first came out. You saw it in theaters, so you must have had some hype or some expectations going into it. And I know you had a very different experience that first time around.
Yeah, I was pretty hyped for it because I knew Senior Abel Tesfaye was in it, so I was pretty excited about that. Even though he has a pretty small part in the movie. But yeah, this is like one of the few movies that I like watching on a smaller screen because maybe it was like where we were sitting because we went with like Jordan and her cousins, so there was like 6 or 7 of us at the movie theater. So we like the only spots we could find were like in the first 2 rows, and it was like at Majestic, so it's like the screen's fucking huge. Even though you get to recline the seat, like the first 2 rows suck, no matter what theater you're fucking in. But like the like camera is like in this movie, even I noticed
Very
watching on Netflix, it's very disorienting and very jumpy. It's not very stable because it's like trying to like put you in like that you're like in these high stress situations, like observing what's going on. So like the camera is very like moves like if you're a real person, except you don't have your brain like stabilizing the image for you. You're just like getting fucking disoriented. But like me and Jordan, like I had to like leave to like force myself to like leave to use the restroom because I was like, I'm like gonna throw up if I keep watching this shit like on this big ass screen. Yeah, we had a pretty bad experience actually watching it in the theater, but watching on Netflix was I mean a lot. It's like there's very few movies where I'd rather see it on a smaller screen than a bigger screen, and this is definitely one of them. But I thought the story was interesting just because I like it freshened up when the main character doesn't win in the end. Like there's like a bad ending. Like when Jordan like watched Emily in Paris on Netflix. And there is a quote in there that always sticks with me where one of the French people is like talking about movies, and the Emily girl's like, well, isn't there like love in the end? And they're like, movies ending in a good way is a very American thing. Like the rest of the world, like there's a lot of movies that like end in like a character's death or like in like life just goes on. There's no like winner. And ever since I like heard that, I mean, if that's like, it's not very true across the board, but like there's certain movies where I can respect that more, like after thinking about that. And this movie is definitely one of them. Just because it's like, sometimes the good guys don't win. Like that's why Infinity War is better than Endgame. So
True. Very true.
That's why The Dark Knight's the greatest comic book movie of all time.
yeah,
It is.
I let the
sometimes the
Joker
good guy
win.
just doesn't win. And that's fine. That's fine. The good guy doesn't always have to win. Switch it up a little bit. That's like why American society has this perception that everybody's the fucking main character. Like all these fucking anti-vaxxers acting like they're gonna take down the fucking government for not getting a needle in their arm because they get this fucking main character complexion. They're like, this is a good ending.
Up.
This is the good timeline. I'm the main character. I'm gonna save humanity.
They're gonna
Like, bro, shut up. You're gonna like get lung
they're
cancer.
gonna get
at, like,
strapped
50
into a
and die.
chair and questioned by the government, and they're gonna just
Like,
be
bro, you're just
silent.
gonna get
Sprite tour.
You're just gonna get heart disease like the other 60%
Sprite
of us that are gonna get
tour.
heart disease. Fuck. You're not the
Sprite
main
Tour
character.
2022. The Sprite Tour.
But,
Everyone's going on their own Sprite tours.
That's why I think this movie shines, because it it shows you that you're not always like, even when you win, sometimes you lose.
Dude, this movie's hilarious.
There's so many quotable moments from Adam Sandler in this movie, especially with this fucking accent he uses.
I actually love Adam Sandler for this movie. Like,
yeah, this movie made me like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, and then he followed
I-
it up with Howie Halloween
I
Yeah.
did not think. I did
or
not.
Hubie
think-
Hall, whatever the fuck that shitty Netflix Halloween movie was.
Yeah, and that's really sad because this is such a mature this could have been his switcheroo moment for his career.
This Matthew
The
McConaughey
switcheroo
moment.
Yeah, exactly, but not exactly, I guess, because Howie Halloween or whatever the fuck, and he's Howie in this too.
I think it's called Hubie Halloween.
I think it is Herbie.
Let me
Herbie fully loaded.
Yeah,
Hooters
Hubie
Halloween.
Halloween, a 2020 Halloween comedy horror movie starring Adam Sandler.
Oh, that's
Jesus.
probably garbage. But this film, this is a motion picture for sure. Dude, I actually I was very, very, very surprised by this. I love this movie. Like when Andrew told me about
Yeah, you walked into it with two very different opinions.
yeah, I was like, one, Andrew when he first saw it, didn't even like it. And Ursula, you you're like, I love Adam Sandler for this movie. This is actually a really good movie. And so I was like, I wonder which end of the spectrum I'm gonna fall on, or if I'm gonna be in the middle. Nah, I really, really enjoyed this. I thought it was hilarious. It's definitely quotable. I remember the quotes right away after the movie. It's so memorable. I feel like I could call back to every scene. There's not a lot of movies that I could watch for the first time and feel like I remember almost every single scene that happened. It's just it's very well done. And it's not necessarily a movie that I think is insanely well directed from the camera angles and the cinematography of it. I don't think it's necessarily the best in class or anything like that. But yeah, like Ursula said, the dialogue and shit, it's just
yeah,
amazing. It's amazing. I love you really get in with Adam Sandler's character. You really like Howie, even though he's kind of a piece of shit.
He's a total piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a huge piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a total dickhead, dude.
But you root for him. You love this guy. And I love him in this movie. I love Adam Sandler and his mumble ass I guess New York accent, I would say, or Boston accent. I thought he did a really good job. I thought it was hilarious that Kevin Garnett was literally Kevin Garnett was a main character. He was the antagonist of the film almost. And then Adam, nothing goes right for Howie.
Dude,
it's unfortunate.
Nothing goes right in this movie.
Even when things go right, they go wrong.
It's exhausting actually in some aspects, but it also makes the film really good too. I even at the end, like Andrew said, like it's not really a happy ending. It's not a happy ending at all, but like you're rooting for him until the very last second, and then it's ballsy how they end it too. I really liked it a lot. I loved it. I love the soundtrack. I fucking love Adam Sandler. Even Julia Fox did a really good job. I didn't.
Kanye's girlfriend.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I thought it was hilarious. Like I didn't think that. I didn't even know she was in this. I didn't know Kevin Garnett was in this. All I knew was that The Weeknd and Adam Sandler were in this.
And The Weeknd has the smallest part out of all those people you just named.
I know, and he's like, you Google the movie, and he's like number 6 on like the main characters, but like he's in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and like when they're doing the intro with like all the like starring and stuff, like it says like starring Abel Tesfaye.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. I love his performance in it. The Morning, shout out The Morning. I love that song.
Where's the fucking black lights? I'm not performing to the black lights right now.
Give me the fucking black lights. Hearing The Weeknd just talk, I love that.
Yeah,
it was a great movie. Yeah,
I thought it was cool how they had like, you know, like since it's like set in 2012, like it's 2012 Weeknd with like his fucking crazy hair and like all that shit.
Yeah, I thought about that too, and even like down to the iPhones. It was like the iPhone 5, like which was the newest in 2012. It was just crazy actually to think about. Makes me feel old.
Well, I think like the big hook of this film really is Adam Sandler. So like I kind of want to go into his performance and like his character for a second, because you know, I feel like there's a lot of when people, one of the, you know, whenever people don't like this movie, sometimes they do gravitate towards his character. I've heard a sentiment that Howie Bling is not fit for the role of a main character in a movie, which I think is a very strange point. Like, I'm like, what does that even, like, I guess going what Andrew said, it's like fucking like, you know, every like there's this like idea that like the main character has to be this like hero or something, you know, but in this, he's just like this. Well, I mean, one, he is kind of annoying, like inside, you know, his wife is kind of right. Like he is kind of this fucking idiot, like annoying idiot. But that's something that I think that's what kind of makes his character a little endearing, you know, like, and a little like kind of brings the human side to it, where he's like, which I'll say this actually, I think Howie is like one of the best written characters in like a movie in the past. One of the best written characters in the past like few years, because like
very true to himself.
Like watching the movie multiple times now, you know, it's just like you can kind of get like a really good understanding of the kind of person this dude is, like even like before this, you know, the plot of this movie takes place. You know, this dude who's, you know, always trying to be on good terms with everyone, but like he's kind of got some bad vices that just fucking his life over. And he's always trying to stay in everyone's good graces. Like he's always like, here's a fucking rollie, like all the like whole, you know, thank you for dealing with my shit. Like, you know,
I got you. Understand?
Yeah. Like here's some spring water. Like, you know, try to like give this dude spring
water now.
Yeah, while he's like $100,000 in fucking debt, and it's like, and his character is so interesting to me. Like, and I think he's a fantastic main character, like to follow throughout this absolutely crazy story. And I think Adam Sandler specifically, like, bro, please, Adam Sandler, don't have this be a fucking one-off. Like, pull a Matthew McConaughey, like, pull out your acting chops. Like, I want to see more of this from Adam Sandler, because holy shit, like, I mean, dude killed it. Like, he wasn't nominated for Best Actor, and everyone was talking about how that was like the snub of the year, like how he wasn't, because he's fucking fantastic in this movie. But what do you guys think?
An award for this?
Yeah, what do you guys think of Howie and also just Adam Sandler in a role that's not a fucking shitty comedy?
I think it makes us actually see how he is as an actual fucking actor instead of just a jackass. Because like I feel like every movie he either plays like the dumbass or like a total jackass. Like I think of like Grown Ups,
the dumbass jackass.
Fuck, what's that movie called? Happy Gilmore. He's a fucking idiot. Waterboy. He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like I just think of all these movies where he's just a fucking bonehead. And then this movie, he's still kind of a bonehead, but he's like a well-written bonehead. So it's like, it's fine.
it's crazy to see like what the script and the directing, like what they were able to do with his character. I think it says a lot about like how the film was made too, because I mean, yeah, Adam Sandler went from all of those kind of roles to something a lot more mature, but like still goofy in his
Yeah,
own regard.
it's like the perfect role for him.
It is like
Yeah.
I honestly like I was hoping the screen would keep rolling. I didn't want this movie to end, honestly, because I loved his character. I was rooting for him the entire time. Like he's such a funny, I don't know, it's just like he's perfect for this. I'd like to see him in more mature roles like this, but like he's still goofy. He's still Adam Sandler, but is so well written, so well done. I love the accent. Um, he's just great in this movie.
What do you guys think of like Howie as a character?
He's a
As a person, as an individual.
definitely a piece of shit. Like throughout the entire movie, he's basically being chased by a bunch of like
By like an infinite amount of people.
like not necessarily like loan sharks, but like gangsters basically that he owes money to. And like it's just you know, a person like that is not the best. Like he's probably fucked some people over trying to get, you know, money for himself.
Well, he's
But
got a fucking
like,
gambling addiction too.
that too. But he is legitimately always trying to make things right. And I think it's hilarious that everything goes wrong. Every single thing. He could have gotten out of everything like a third of the way into the movie. He places these bets that he got.
Yeah.
And the freaking the
Hello?
gangster guys, they noticed that like Arno, one of the main villains,
Ah, no.
he realized, or one of his goons, his two goons realized that Adam Sandler had taken their money and went to go bet, except it wasn't even their money, really. It's their money because because Howie owes them money, but they stopped the bet and he could have paid them back. And then dude, it's just I love his character because he never gives up. He never gives up. Yeah, there's something.
Everything's going
tenacity,
wrong.
baby.
Everything's going
Exactly.
wrong. I'm fucked up.
There's something to be said though. Like that's why you root for him. He's just like he endears. He just keeps going no matter what is thrown his way.
Yeah,
And that's
there's like
very admirable.
there's like multiple times where he has like an out. Like if the plan goes right, he has an out. And it
He always
never
goes for
ever
a little too much.
yeah, and it never goes fucking right. There's like three, like when he places that bet, when he's at the auction, when he's like at the very end, it all falls apart every one of his schemes falls apart, which I think is like it just drives up that feeling of anxiety like throughout the whole movie,
It
like
does.
and I
He's just
guess
pushing for a little bit more every time. Just a
yeah,
little bit more.
and
Trying
I
to get
guess
that
like
big break.
talking about the like anxious nature of the whole film, like how'd you guys feel about that? Like, this is definitely like in our little list of bullet points that we have whenever we talk about things. I put like anxiety the movie question mark, because like this movie is it is like super, it's like
an
one of the most like
anxiety fest, bro.
yeah, it's literally just
really
like
is.
you're just on the edge of your seat the whole time. And like Andrew, do you think the like disorienting nature kind of goes into that, or like I guess how do you guys view it in a positive or negative light?
I feel like the camera work definitely adds to it, because the camera work is just like fucking like it's like you're actually like shaking. It's like you're like, God damn, like, can this fucking camera just stay still so I can focus? But you never get a chance to like just like take in what's happening, because the camera's switching and people are screaming over each other, and then there's like a million different fucking things going on, and like how he's trying to read the fucking huge bet he's supposed to do, and he can't fucking like, somebody's screaming at him and chasing him, and he's trying to, it's just a complete clusterfuck. But I think it is something that the movie needed to get its point across.
Yeah, I think it's crazy, like just the talking over each other thing. That I think gave me the most anxiety, just the yelling
Yeah.
and shit. I don't know why. Like it really shouldn't, but I actually got like anxious from that. And then like definitely the end, like where he's trying to see if KG will get those bets in, or he'll get like the
The
numbers he
shots off.
needs for his bets. Yeah, the rebounds and the shots and the points. Watching that basketball game was very anxiety inducing, especially if like you have a bet riding on it. Like you really like you felt like you were in that moment too. Like I was so enveloped in this movie for some reason.
Yeah, and like that's I think why the anxiety, like the constant anxiety that this movie gives you, works so well, because it really, I feel like it puts you in the shoes or like the thought of like Howie. Like you just have like all these people you don't even know who's like fucking coming trying to ask this dude for money. Like, you know, shit is just constantly going wrong. And I love that scene where he just he does just start break down and fucking crying, because that's like a fucking natural reaction to the shit that you imagine if you're in that fucking position, bro.
Yeah, and
Like,
when when KG comes back and they can't get the fucking door open, and I'm like,
oh
holy
my god,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Literally they find a way to make everything like that in particular. They can't get a door open. It's so anxious. Like,
so
And
fucking
KG's like, I gotta go. And Adam's like, or Howie's like, no, I got it. I gotta do everything myself. And everyone's screaming over each other.
yeah,
That's actually a great scene. I forgot about that.
yeah. Like even the smallest encounters, like just opening a fucking door, is like so fucking like anxiety through the roof. Like, god damn it, come on, just open the door so they can fucking talk or some shit. Like,
It's like you could guess that'd be the climax of the movie if you didn't know any better.
yeah. And I mean, like literally the climax of the game is watching a fucking basketball game on a screen.
Yeah.
And the funniest part is it's like a game that happened like in real life, like an actual game that happened in real life, like fucking.
I remember
when the movie
watching
came
those
out.
finals.
When the movie came out, I guess it was like 6 years or 7 years, but like it's one of those things where it's like what happens in the. It's like when I was younger, I went to watch that fucking Abraham Lincoln movie. That was it Daniel Day-Lewis or somebody was fucking Abraham.
Yeah,
Lincoln.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
And like they're voting to like outlaw slavery, and I'm like getting stressed. I'm like, oh my god, like are they gonna fucking do it? And I'm like, wait, this is a fucking real movie, bro. Like I know what happens, but I'm still like stressed. That's how I felt like watching this game. Like it's a game that you could just go back and watch film on and know what happens. And like I know the 76ers didn't win like a fucking NBA championship, so I know they didn't fucking win this game.
Yeah.
So I'm like getting stressed. I'm like, like when he's like the last leg of the parlay, like the Celtics got to win, and I'm like, oh fuck, they got to win. Are they gonna fucking win? And then I'm like, wait,
that's
this
the
is a real
last thing.
fucking
You just
game.
gotta win now.
I'm like, wait, this is a real fucking game. I just thought that was funny because I'm like, God, I remember when I did this watching like them like vote on fucking like outlawing slavery in America, and I'm like, oh my God, what fucking happens, bro? What's gonna happen?
You know,
That's good directing. You understand?
that's history. That's history right
That
there.
is literally
history
history
right
right
there.
there.
You understand? This is like the most quotable movie too.
It's so
Literally
fucking
like the
funny.
most quotable movie I've seen in years.
There's an American Psycho.
And American Psycho, yeah.
I need to go return some
Videotapes. But what just going into some of the background of this movie that I heard that I thought was honestly pretty interesting is the directors of this movie. They actually said that they wrote the script for this movie in 2009, and that they wrote the role of Howie for Adam Sandler, and they spent 10 years trying to get him onto the project. And it would always go through Adam Sandler's like agent, and his agent would always decline it. And then one day his agent was like, fuck, you want to look at this? These motherfuckers keep sending this shit to me.
Safdie brothers down bad.
Yeah. And
Adam Sandler's agent's probably like, we only accept more shit here.
yeah. We only do.
If he's not written for Adam to be a total jackass fucking idiot, I can't do it. Sorry.
It's mature. It's gonna be rated R.
Fuck, it's not rated G. Fuck.
Adam's a PG-13 guy. Click. We gotta get Click too.
Yeah, I mean, which you can really tell because, like we were saying, like this is like Adam Sandler's role, man. Like it makes sense that they fucking wrote this fucking role for Adam Sandler. And also, I heard about like how because the script was in development for so long. I mean, 2009, this game that happens, this it, fucking Adam Sandler.
Click.
Back when they started writing the script, this game hadn't even happened. So like I've kind of read some snippets about how like while they were reiterating and building upon the script the past 10 years, the basketball player in the game that was starred in the movie rotated between three different people. It was Kevin Garnett, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant. And they had to like every time that one of them, like I think Kobe Bryant was about to be in the film, and every time they were writing a draft for the film, they had to pretty much like kind of restructure some of the intricacies of the plot based around when the movie took place and like what the game was, essentially that it was building up to.
Stone.
Yeah, but if you don't have Garnett, you don't get Garnett's a stone. You know that.
Dude, Garnett was perfect.
Was he gonna say like Brian's a diamond? You know that. Like it doesn't play.
Brian's a uncut diamond.
James is la garbage. We all know that.
What do you guys think of Kevin Garnett in this film? I thought he was pretty good for not being a fucking actor.
Yes,
I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought he was really good.
I couldn't believe, like, I thought Kevin Garnett was like I could see him having a legit acting career from that. Like his performance was amazing, but he just had to really be himself. So that might have been like the secret as to why he was
show me something if I can't have it, man. That's fucked up.
Yeah. Black Opal
showing me shit I can't have.
He does the rock thing. Black Opal. Black raises one eyebrow. Black Opal.
The magic sound.
But speaking, and Kevin Garnett's role in this film is really based around his obsession with the titular Uncut Gem. Which kind of, let's talk about it. Let's rewind it a little, talking about. I want to kind of talk about like the first scene of the film, which is like super detached from the rest of the movie, honestly. Which is that scene in Africa. What do you guys think the message or the point is of that scene? Like, why does it start off there instead of in New York right away?
Gotta see the fucked up background. Gotta see the fucked up background.
Yeah,
I mean, the first scene is going in, and the reason the guys get this uncut gem is because the dude's leg gets blown off and everybody evacuates the mine. Like you see the dude with his bone sticking out of his leg.
Yeah, that is brutal. That was a brutal shot.
I think it definitely gives like the background of how that shit actually happens, and like his jewelry store in general. Like just think about how all of
profiting off of. Yeah,
it's all off the backs of people doing very strenuous, hard manual labor.
Yeah, and how we just getting like swindled basically. Like
this
KG,
is how I win.
KG's like, you paid some guys in Ethiopia $100,000 for a gem worth over $1 million. You fucking stupid.
Kevin, you want to win by 1 or you want to win by 30?
100,000 is like 10 lifetimes for those guys.
You want to win by 1 point or you want to win by 30, KG? This is how I win.
Yeah, I think it makes that scene kind of like going back to what Kevin Garnett says later in the movie is like kind of a good, almost like a little talk about like materialism and shit like that. Like how there's all like literally this crazy shit. People are like fucking dying trying to get these gems, and like they're literally like it's literally just a piece of jewelry that's just like super fucking expensive. At the end, that's all it is at the end of the day.
I think it really like just calls back to just the general issue with that in general, and like blood diamonds, like you hear about that, like, and how it's just like very, very deadly to get the stuff that we just like
take for granted.
We think
luxury
think of. Exactly. I think that's the point. It's to kind of like put that into perspective.
Yeah, and I mean from there, one of my favorite scenes, honestly, actually in the movie is when it like shows the diamond in that African cave, and it just zooms into the diamond, and it's like going through the diamond. It's like the universe, and then it slowly turns into like crystals, and it turns into his fucking asshole.
Oh yeah. The colonoscopy.
Like that scene.
You got to see Adam Sandler's asshole.
Yeah. And then it's like I love that transition, like how it just seamlessly goes from that and like slowly zooms out of the screen of the colonoscopy like monitor, and it just like 2012, like, oh, we're in fucking Howie Bling's asshole.
Casey and I were like, what the hell is going on? Where is this going? Like, we had no idea at that moment. I thought it was going to turn more into like he's got cancer and like almost like a Breaking Bad thing. Like he's got to get money for his family in that moment. But then it chalked up to nothing, really.
And I think one of the things that makes that scene so one of my favorites, and also kind of the same scene happens at the end again when it goes through the bullet wound, goes into his head, is the soundtrack, which I love the soundtrack of this fucking movie. Like, it's got this like 80s retro like synth, sound.
This Dawn FM.
yeah. Like, it clearly, obviously, it very reminds me of Dawn FM, After Hours. It's clear after this project, The Weeknd clearly linked up with OPN and got some inspiration on sounds. And also, like, I don't know. I don't know why, because I do know why, because it sounds exactly like it to me. This reminds me a lot of a video game soundtrack called Fez. Like Fez has like it sounds like you could throw this movie soundtrack into like Fez, like it would be like you couldn't tell the fucking difference, I feel like. But I love the soundtrack of this movie because it gives it like a certain aesthetic. I'm trying to I don't know what that aesthetic is. I can't quite put my finger on it. This nighttime synthy underbelly, but it's kind of like glamoury and glitzy aesthetic, which is also very similar to like the aesthetic that I feel like After Hours gave off. Like, what do you guys think of the soundtrack? And specifically OPN's work.
I really liked it too. You were playing a specific track earlier, Ursula.
The Ballad of Howie Bling.
The Ballad of Howie. I would listen to that in my car, dude. It's so good. It's so synthy and wavy. It does definitely add to the vibe of the film. I feel like it almost gives it like a classic feel in a weird way, like an old feel. But it's weird. Like it kind of plays into like the vibe of it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But
even like
it's really good.
Like the cinematography gives into that old feel too, because it's not like a super like sharp, like it's not like you watch it in 4K. Like it's like kind of a grainy.
It's like straight, grainy. It has a great film grain over it.
It's very cool. Yeah, I agree. I think the cinematography feeds into the like environment that the music sets up.
Yeah.
What do you think of the soundtrack?
Like I said,
I mean, listening to it after, or watching this movie after experiencing Dawn FM, I'm like, damn, like this is I can see where the inspiration came from, or like like that this producer has a very distinct sound like sound I don't know, sound wave,
sound profile
print. Yeah, profile, there we go.
Sound print too. Yeah, I like.
You were saying something, John?
I was gonna say like calling back to the cinematography quick, and like I don't think it's like master class or anything necessarily, but I think it works super well for this movie, and like everything between, it's just so well put together. I was just gonna say that like everything is it works very well together. Nothing fights itself in the movie. Even like the dialogue where everyone's like yelling at once and like you can't really make out what anyone's saying necessarily. Like I don't know what watching this movie with subtitles would look like because we didn't. But
you don't watch movies with subtitles?
I don't typically, actually, unless like Lord of the Rings. I did this most recent time.
Why Lord of the Rings?
I don't know.
Yeah, the movie where there's one person talking at a time.
I don't know. Well, what does it look like when everyone's like talking over each other with subtitles? Is it like 3 lines at once?
I think it puts the subtitles of the person the camera is focusing on.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
I don't usually watch movies with subtitles though, because I find myself focusing too much on reading them rather than like what's going on, and I'd rather focus on what's going on than have what's going on in my peripheral.
Oh yeah, I have subtitles with like everything. Whenever I play like games, movies, whatever, TV shows. I don't know why.
I focus too much on it. Like I can hear
it. Learn how to read.
Now I can read. I just focus like too much on it and don't focus on like what's going on, especially when it's at the bottom. But
Yeah, and I think this movie, like it's like an amalgamation of a lot of like great different things. One thing that it actually reminded me of was Pulp Fiction. Funny enough, because which one thing I want to talk about is so like okay, this is where let me just set this up. In Pulp Fiction, there's kind of like a MacGuffin throughout the whole film, which is this fucking briefcase, right? And you never like actually know what the contents of the briefcase are. I'm pretty sure like there's been this theory that it's like the devil's like soul is in it or some crazy shit like that. But yeah, but yeah, but I think I guess one thing I guess what I was going to lead into is like, is the stone like mystical or not? Like, does it have some sort of like divine power? Does it have some sort of like otherworldly thing? Because it's like it almost like gives like innuendos to that, like when Kevin Garnett's like staring into the stone and like dude can like see the whole universe and his like whole childhood and like his whole life flashing before his eyes. And like I thought that was a really interesting thing, and it kind of it's weird because it like has these innuendos of that or like references or hints to it, but it never ever is like, oh, this is like a magical stone or some shit like that. It's like an interesting detail that the film never dives into.
Well, because when Garnett's looking into the stone, then he's like so focused, then he breaks the glass that he's leaning on.
Yeah, literally.
No,
he's a stone.
Yeah.
He's a stone.
Everybody knows
stone.
Garnett's a stone.
I told him not to lean on the glass.
Garnett's a stone. Yeah,
that's the other thing.
That's the
other thing I think is interesting is how he's like anytime something bad happens that he sees, he's always trying to cover his ass.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, like fuck, I like locked the keys in the car. Can you come let me out? Like, or like I locked myself in the car or some shit. And then he's like fucking just naked in the back of their fucking car.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's also interesting about. Or I guess John, like, what do you think about the stone?
I personally don't think it's like I don't think it's like mystical or anything. I really think it was just like KG had a connection.
He was vibing with it.
Reason. He was just vibing with it, yeah. And sports players like and professional athletes have weird shit like that anyway. Like they're lucky, I don't know, lucky
charm
undershirt or whatever it may be, or their playlist. It's got to be the same every time.
Lucky jock strap.
Yeah,
it's got to smell right.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just something like that. But I liked how it like I just liked how when you looked at it, every time it like really showed the stone, it was like zooming in and like you see the stars and shit. It was just cool.
You can see the whole universe in that thing.
Why you show me something I can't fucking have? You ain't got nothing but garbage.
Oh my God.
I don't know if he actually says that, but it sounds like something that he would say.
One thing actually about that made me remember is like about Howie's character is like this dude is also a fucking like habitual like fucking liar. Like this dude is constantly lying about like everything. One thing like specifically like literally the stone even itself, like the value of the stone. Anytime he talks about how much that stone is worth, he's always giving out different figures. Like which like it always like brings into like question. It's like, okay, was the stone actually worth over $1 million, or is like the evaluation that they gave at the auction actually like valid? And he's just trying to like finesse motherfuckers.
It's probably that. Yeah, he's probably just trying to finesse people and like hype it up more than anything.
He's a salesman.
Yeah, and he's trying to upsell things. I mean, he gives people fake rollies.
yeah, literally like the fake rollies. Even like he's always lying like, oh, there's something fucked up with the bathroom in the apartment. You got to use a different bathroom. Like this dude is like always lying and always trying to upsell shit. And
well, I mean, even if he got $1 million for the stone, he'd probably bet it all. He probably would have bet all of it.
But what if I can turn that into 10 million?
Exactly. It's never enough for Howie. It's never enough.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes the character so interesting to me is like, I know people like him in my personal life. I mean, if people that went to Creighton with me, if you're listening to this, we all know exactly who we're talking about here. But like this, like this is like someone that at least to me, like I've encountered people like Howie in my own life, which I think makes him a lot more interesting and a lot more like fleshed out in my eyes too. But
yeah, I haven't met anyone like Howie. I don't think not Not quite.
Honestly, you guys should be blessed that you like just pray you never have to meet someone in your life that's like Howie. Just like
I'll watch Uncut Gems again if I need my Howie fix.
yeah, I've had my real life Howie fix, and it's like I haven't been in that situation of literally the like there's this I mean I'm gonna keep it super vague, but like you know this person that I'm thinking about, like people were like hunting him down for money too, like you know like
Bruh.
people that I knew like were like, dude, this guy like I'm gonna go to him like I need to get the money like like
I
and
need
like
the money.
like
I'll get you the money.
like and this dude would like he would be like, oh, I did send you the money, and he would like go on HTML and change like go on Venmo and like on HTML and like insert a line where he like showed that he like paid him, like you know just like crazy like levels of
Jesus.
lying, like
That's insane.
Yeah,
That is
like
insane.
but yeah, like I'll have to talk to you guys about that like off air, but like like because I yeah I'm not trying to go into anyone's personal business, but Jesus,
That's funny.
yeah, but you know I guess from there we could probably go into you know like what's some of your favorite scenes in the film.
I think one of the funnier scenes like that we haven't talked about is when he's and why does he do this? I don't understand why he does
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking. I think I know what you're
He's
talking
in the
about.
closet.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
hanging
yeah.
out in the closet and like like he's with his mistress or whatever because his marriage is failing.
Yeah. Another thing that's wrong.
Another thing to add to the pile, yeah, his marriage is failing. And he's with like his mistress and I think his apartment, right? That's his apartment, not a hotel. It was his apartment, and he's in the closet like asking this chick, his mistress, Julia, like what she's wearing and stuff. Like, I don't know if he has a trust issue with her. Like, I mean, he does by the middle of the film, but
she's a cock.
yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Like, I thought that was one of my favorite scenes just because it was like, what the hell? Like, what is he doing? But it just like adds to his depth as he's surface level in a way, but he's also got some depth. Like, he's just a weird dude.
Yeah, he is a weirdo. He's literally a weirdo.
He's just a weirdo.
I'm just kind of
That's the perfect way to describe him. He's a fucking weirdo.
I'm just kind of weirdo.
And then like the door scene, trying to get the door open. Oh my god. Like when you mentioned that, Andrew, I love that scene just because of how chaotic it is. It's one of the more chaotic scenes in the film, and it's literally something so simple as just getting the damn door open for his jewelry shop.
Yeah, I mean, I think another one that's stressful, which is actually one of my favorite scenes, is when Damani finds out that like his jewelry isn't there, and
he's talking to his doctor.
Yeah, like his doctor's on the fucking speakerphone telling him he doesn't have cancer, and then Damani's like screaming, and then he like fucks up, like pours like wine in the fish tank or some fucking shit, and how he's like screaming at Damani, and then his like doctor's like, Howard, are you there? And then he's like, get the fucking water, I need to get the fucking fish out of there, man. Fuck, what the fuck are you doing to my fucking fish? It's like just a complete clusterfuck, but it's like it's just like something about that scene just like makes it one of my favorites. I think just because it's like his doctor's like trying to like tell him like a serious health thing, and then like people are finding out that he's like loaning out their jewelry to take out like loans to make more bets, and then like it's just, and then he for some reason the fish like just strikes a nerve, and he's like fucking like shitting himself over this fucking fish, and it's yeah. And not to mention the fucking the loan shark dudes are in the fucking room right next to him too at the same time. It's just such a fucking shit show.
Speaking on that, I gotta say Damani. Fuck Damani.
He is an antagonist.
Yeah, he's a shithead.
Like literally that scene when he takes him to Philly and then leaves him in Philly. Like when he like walks through the hallway and he's like, I'm with him. Like I'm fucking with him. What the fuck? Like
yeah.
Like I was like, what did dude? I would be livid. Like
and Damani's like his employee too.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you're fired, idiot.
Yeah, you took me 2 hours to Philly and then left me there, and then I had to take a bus back.
Yeah. Oh man, that was shitty.
But I would say like, one of my favorite scenes. I mean, God, there's so many scenes where shit just goes wrong for him, like that Damani scene. Like literally every scene is just something going fucking wrong for this guy.
I love the auction.
Yeah. He has to fight the Weekend. Fucking gets into a fight with the Weekend.
There's so many favorite scenes. I like every scene in the movie is one of my favorites. It's
Yeah.
so fucking good.
I will give a special shout out to the auction scene because that's when I was just like, when I was watching it for the first time, where I'm like, Jesus Christ, like there is nothing is like literally like, you know, you're watching that and you know when you're watching the auction scene, you're like, something is gonna go wrong. Like there, and literally like it's so fucking funny. Hey, I'm gonna need you to jack up the bids. Well, what if I win the bid? It's okay. I'll just pay you back. And he's
take care of it.
Yeah, and he literally outbids Kevin Garnett for his own fucking stone, and then has to pay back the guy that bought it for him. But then there's like a service fee that's like $30,000 on top of that, so that's like another 30,000 that he's deep down. Like I'm like, oh my God, like
so chaotic. And then KG was like, I'm actually only giving you 160 because of the trouble, or like 165 or whatever. So that's even more that he's in the hole.
What also one random scene or shot that I really like, I don't know why, is like when the Damani tells him to fuck off in the club while the Weekend is playing, and like he's just standing there and it's like all these like dark lights and stuff, and you just see him like kind of just standing there pissed, and it's like the morning's playing and it's like zombies in the night, and he's just staring at like Julia Fox like dancing. I don't know why, like I love that little like 10-second scene. I don't know why, just probably because the Weekend's playing over it.
The vibes.
Yeah.
It's just vibes in that club.
Just and then he fights the Weekend over fucking swimming pools playing.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Good. Everyone in this movie, even the Weekend, they play off as like it's funny because the Weekend, which I mean, like he clearly has a good relationship with the directors. Like the directors are in Dawn FM during that Every Angel is Terrifying skit. Arthur Flemminger says, and when Arthur Flemminger is one of the directors of the movie, I can't keep my eyes off this. But like yeah, like even the Weekend gets played as a joke. Like the Weekend, this guy's fucking stupid, looks fucking stupid, and the Weekend's played off as like a piece of shit in this film. Like he's trying to like kind of almost kind of force Julia Fox's character into some like sexual encounter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know how hot I am.
Yeah. You're so fucking hot. He gets into the fight with the fucking Weekend. Jesus.
And the Weekend spits at him, dude. Anyone that spits at someone is a piece of shit.
But what about this? Besides favorite scene, what's the best line / what's the best meme scene in this film?
Garnett, he's a rock, you know this.
Yeah.
He's a rock.
Garnett's a stone, you know this.
That's my favorite one, probably, just because I've been memeing on it all morning.
For the effect, I think was it I'm gonna fucking come?
Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
Oh yeah, holy shit, I'm gonna come. Literally, because
it's so out of the blue.
One of his main employees of like 8 years is like, I've been here 8 years. Are you gonna look at me? Are you gonna listen to me? Holy shit, I'm gonna come. And the way he mumbles it and says it, it's like definitely the most meme-worthy line I think in the entire film. It's so great. I mean, and I remember like not even seeing this movie and seeing that like a GIF of him saying that and just thinking it was the funniest shit because it's Adam Sandler with those glasses. Those fucking glasses.
Those tiny ass fucking glasses.
Except was he even wearing the glasses in that scene? I don't think he was.
He was wearing his regular glasses, I think, like not his shades that are on the picture behind you.
Oh yeah, I love those shades. Iconic. It's such an iconic look for him.
I remember there was like meme photos going around. It's like I love how Adam Sandler's how he's like dripped out in this fucking film. Like got fucking rollies and like all this like dripped out fucking gear on him. Like there would be like photos of like I remember there were like viral photos. So like before the movie came out, like Adam Sandler walking around on the street like wearing that fit, and people would be like, "Holy shit, Adam Sandler's dripped the fuck out!" Like
with fake rollies, probably.
Yeah, I mean, God, there's so many good fucking lines in this film. Like That's history right there. You understand? Holy shit, I'm gonna come. Garnett's a stone. Fucking.
You
This
know
is how
that?
I win. This is how I win.
That's one of the dumbest bets I've ever heard. I disagree. I disagree.
I disagree. I disagree. Respectfully, I disagree.
I disagree. I disagree, Gary. I disagree. But honestly, I really like the one I sent a video of you guys to. He's just like in the car when he realizes he won big on that bet that obviously gets taken out. But like and he's just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh
What's your name?
shit.
What's your name?
Oh.
Dennis, I just hit it big as fuck, man.
I just hit it so big. I hit it so big.
Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like he's like literally geeking. He's like geeking out like in the car, and it's like that's just like that scene to me like just encapsulates like how his character, like he's so multi-dimensional. Like you feel like you know him so well just from this one movie. Like I would love to see like a fucking Uncut Gems TV show with like before this movie, like just the stupid shit how he gets into. Like he's such a like fascinating character.
Into that debt?
Because it's like he has so many, like he's like this fucking nerd loser. He's like a liar, but he's like you're rooting for him because like he's such an interesting character to me. And honestly, like one of the reasons I love this movie so much. But also I got to give a shout out to that's history right there. You understand? I love using that one. Like
That's
holy
history right there.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and get into our final thoughts, what we liked, what we didn't like. What do we want for the future of the Uncut Gems franchise? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, let's just give our encapsulating thoughts. I guess I'll go ahead and start off. Yeah, I think this movie is just, I think it sets out to be like to have a very specific type. It's a very specific type of story, and I think it sets out to do that in that like it's this very anxious, high stakes story that I think really gets really makes the home run off of Adam Sandler's performance. Like you had this just like really multi-dimensional character that you're rooting for, but you also know he's a piece of shit. But like this movie is just chaos encapsulated. Like it's just chaotic in every sense. Like people are always screaming over each other, like yelling at each other. People are hunting him down that you don't even know. There's always someone coming up in the next scene trying to find him. Shit is always going wrong for him. Like it's such a like, you have your eyes glued to the screen essentially, like the whole fucking film, like about like, is he going to get out of it? Is he not going to get out of it? And I think the ending honestly is pretty fitting, like he just pushed the wrong people too far. Like, and, he did win, but he pushed his luck and he gets fucking murked. And honestly, yeah, I think Adam Sandler's, without Adam Sandler's performance, this might be a little more of a standard, like, I mean, it's still a really great film, but like, I think it wouldn't be as beloved by me. I think like he adds that meme factor. He adds that like likability, that complexity of the film with his character. And I think that's what made me really absolutely love this film. It's one of my favorite movies of the past few years, honestly. Which is crazy to say that about an Adam Sandler film. And honestly, like if Parasite didn't come, I mean, 2019 was a stacked year for fucking movies. If Parasite didn't come out, this probably would have been my favorite movie of 2019, honestly. Honestly, like, maybe the only complaint I could say is like, I would have liked maybe some of the camera work and things like that to be a little bit better. But that's kind of just really a nitpick. Because I think this movie like excels at exactly what it's trying to do. The one thing I will say is the directors have another movie before this. This is their second movie. The movie before this was also a great film. It's called Good Time. And it actually stars Robert Pattinson. It was like Robert Pattinson's like comeback role. It's a very similar type of film. I don't think it's as good as I don't think Good Time is as good, but if you guys like this, I would recommend watching Good Time. It's because it's very, very similar. So I am very interested to see what the Safdie brothers do next. Overall, I really, really enjoyed this fucking film. Amazing Adam Sandler performance, his best. I want to see him do more roles like this. And the anxiety and the tension this film keeps throughout, like, it's right on the money. It does the mood that is trying to keep you, this anxious mood, it delivers in every fucking scene. This movie is constantly anxious, doing all sorts of stuff. The scenarios, how people are interacting with each other. It's just, it's crazy. I would give it, I'm going to give it a 9.5. I love this film.
I'll give mine. So I think this movie, definitely watching it the second time, bolstered what I think of it, because I thought like the first time, obviously, like I detailed.
First time you thought it was like a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, the first time I watched it, I had such a fucking bad experience in the theater that like I just like did not really wasn't even like able to pay attention to like the actual like like all the intricacies and all like the small details, just because I was like trying not to fucking throw my breakfast up on my fucking lap. But I mean, watching it the second time, I definitely gained more respect for it, and I think I can appreciate it more.
So quotable, so memeable.
Yeah, it's extremely memeable, and I think, like I said earlier, like the fact that like the good guy doesn't win in the end, like it's nice to see that once in a while. Like it's refreshing almost, which I can give that to. I just think like there's some critiques I have. One of them being like John, you mentioned like. It obviously it adds to like the atmosphere, but like people talking over each other like just got fucking like very annoying after a while. Like after like 2 or 3 scenes of like just people fucking just screaming at each other, like trying to talk over each other was really annoying. I think the other thing is like I know Arso, you like the intro and the outro being like that like universe type of thing. I didn't really like it all that much, and I thought like especially the first time I watched it, even before the motion sickness set in, like just the opening scene, I was like, this is like gonna be a slow ass movie. Like this intro is just so fucking long. But like I like the score. I like the score a lot. I also liked how they were able to make something I knew the result of, aka the game, make it like stressful. The other thing that I didn't really like was the kind of like the subplot where it was like Julia with that fucking rich guy. That seemed really fucking stupid. Like,
oh, at the very end.
Yeah, like I know she like needed his place because those guys are going after her, but I felt like that was kind of just like shoot in as just like, hey, there's this like guy that we casted for this movie. We should probably give him a fucking role. I thought that was kind of dumb. Like I thought it was like setting up to be like a whole nother like kind of conflict, like because before he gets in the shower he's like, oh, if anybody knocks, it's my friend's a room service. I'm like, those guys are gonna come up to the door and knock.
That's what I thought.
Kill her. And then it just didn't happen, so I kind of felt like that whole super rich guy was just
anticlimactic,
kind of like unnecessary and anticlimactic. Yeah. But I mean, it's a movie that I wouldn't watch all the time, but I would probably watch. I mean, if I'm like run out of movie ideas, probably watch it again. Also, there a little disappointment I had from watching it the first time that The Weeknd didn't have a more prominent part, based on like how much it seemed in the promo that he had a big part, because I know The Weeknd specifically went fucking hard on like, I'm in this Uncut Gems movie, like we're filming Uncut Gems, and this motherfucker's in it for like 5 minutes. But that's like just kind of a personal thing. But in the end, I mean, I think the cinematography really is just okay. I know it adds to like the anxiety, but I personally was not a fan. The sound design though is great. I thought the movie plot was good, even though it has some flaws in it. Just Howie just being a fucking annoying main character. I almost feel like Arsenal, you'll understand this, but like fucking like Rue and Howie are like the same fucking main character, where you just want to root for them and them to do good, and they just fucking sabotage themselves over and fucking over. And I felt like I liked it to an extent, but it was like, God, like just give this guy one thing that goes his fucking way. Like, and that kind of like deteriorated for me. And I know whenever we review Euphoria, like that'll probably take away from that a little bit, but it's like, goddamn, like just make the main character more likable. Like I understand like he fucks himself over and that's the point of the movie, but it's like, goddamn, like this dude's life just sucks, and it's like you're just watching like the saddest fucking movie ever. Just watching this dude's life just fucking collapse in on itself. But I mean, I liked it more the second time. I didn't like love it. Like I think it's a very good movie. I wouldn't call it like, in my opinion, like a great movie. I give it a 7.5. I mean, it's not, a 7.5 like
That's good.
based on our other ratings like seems low, but like I mean, we just review fucking like good ass shit all the time. So like my average is probably like the average score I give out is probably like an 8.5, but it's like heavily skewed because we review like God of War and fucking Last of Us and that. But I mean, I give it a 7.5. It's hard for me to like push it into like that upper like third like level just because of how bad my experience was the first time. Like I can't really like I still like even was like had a hard time like shaking that feeling I had the first time even watching it the second time. But yeah, and then I give it a solid 7.5.
Damn. Well, it's weird because I feel like I don't have a whole lot of flaws with this movie. I didn't expect to come into this loving it so much, but
I know, right?
yeah, I was like,
But honestly, like I just want to add a side, like I think Andrew's points are like pretty valid too, because like I think that's like a very specific type of movie, and if you don't get on board with it completely, there's gonna be things that just don't jive.
yeah, absolutely, and I could definitely see where Andrew's coming from too, but for some like his Casey didn't really jive with it, but I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
it's a
I
very
don't know why.
polarizing film.
Yeah, it is. It really
Yeah.
is. And I thought Adam Sandler's performance was absolutely immaculate. Like I could see this being like his best role ever by the time he retires eventually, if he ever does. I don't know. Actors I feel like don't ever really totally retire. A lot just end up having cameos and shit, simple cameos, but like this is definitely his best role I've ever seen. If you're like an Adam Sandler fan though, and like you like Grown Ups and like Waterboy and shit and Happy Gilmore, you might not like it.
Oh
Honestly, you might
yeah,
not
yeah.
like
There's
it.
people I know who like Adam Sandler movies, and they saw this and they were like, "That movie wasn't even good. It was like shit. That was like one of his worst movies."
I like the 3 out of 10s that he gives out or that he puts out. Like
I like Hubie Halloween more than Untitled Chapter.
I like Click. Click is funny. I mean Click is kind of funny, but that's one of his, that's actually probably one of his better shitty movies. But no, this was very mature and it was very unexpected for me. I didn't know it was gonna be like an almost mob kind of thriller and like a running from a loan shark kind of story. I had no idea it was gonna be like that at
Yeah,
all.
it was executive produced by Martin Scorsese.
Oh shit. Yeah, well that I could definitely see that. But I was just really surprised by it. The only thing that I think maybe could have been fleshed out a little more is the relationship with his family. I feel like it was
Yeah, I could get.
a
Yeah,
little
I could
bit.
agree with that.
I feel like even like his sons, it was just touched on and like, but the movie was about Howie. At the end of the day, it was about him and
I feel like the family was just like another wrinkle of like the shit he has to deal with. You know.
exactly, and it's a small nitpick, but like it's almost like it almost adds to it because it really is just like another wrinkle for him in all the bullshit he's dealing with. I loved The Weekend in it. I love that he performed The Morning. I love The Morning. That's such a great song. One of my favorite Weekend songs, actually. Um, and I just thought the performances from everyone that was in the movie were really good. Even those dumbass like the people that were like, he owes me like 20,000. Those like short dudes with the crazy ass Einstein looking hair.
I'm not trying to buy no fucking watch. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, he gives
Fugazi
him the
shit.
Rolly, the fake Rolly, and then he's like, "I'm not buying that fucking shit. These fucking street vendors. God damn it!"
Like even down to like those insignificant characters that were just barely in it. Like everything was just so well done in my opinion, and just every piece of the puzzle fell together so well. And there's so many great scenes, and like I feel like I could play this movie back in my head. It's that memorable. It's like there's not a lot of movies where I feel like I'm really that honed into it, but I was like actually not really on the edge of my seat, but like I was just very honed into this movie and what was going on. But like that the climax with the Celtics game at the end was absolutely very anxiety inducing, even though I watched that finals and I remember like what happened. But I just found myself rooting for Howie, even though he's a shit guy the entire time. And I think that's really good directing. That's history right there. But like, no, it's really good directing when like you really, really envelop yourself in a story like this, even something that's pretty simple, but it is intricate at the same time, and there's a lot of moving pieces because he just keeps screwing himself. And like I'm even trying to do the math in my head of like how much in the hole he's going toward the end and like the auction stuff. But I really love this movie, and besides, maybe a couple story things that are nitpicks, I don't really have a lot that's bad to say about it. I would probably almost give it a 9.5. I would give it a 9.5 as well. I fucking love this movie. It was crazy. After I got done watching
Adam
it, I was
Sandler.
like, God damn. I did not expect this at all. Like, it's a great, great movie, and I highly recommend it to anyone, really. Like, give it a watch. If you're a hardcore Adam Sandler fan, maybe just go. Just you probably don't have that taste anyway. No, I'm kidding. But no, give it a watch. It was really good.
And that brings the ControllerCast Uncut Gem score to an 8.8, which I think is pretty good, pretty fitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Adam Sandler, keep please don't have this be a fucking one-off, man. You were so good in this. Like, so
good.
This movie made me like you.
Same.
Yeah.
Even though he was like mumbling half the time, it was just so good.
And that's history right there.
That's history.
Holy shit, I'm gonna come. Thank you guys for listening to episode 39 of the ControllerCast. As always, always, if you enjoy, share with your loved ones, your friends. Share on socials. Socials. Jesus.
Share it on the socials. Very beauty.
But thank you everyone for listening. Next week we will be back with Andrew. I think you said Revenge of the Sith, right?
Yep.
So we're gonna
bring it back to Star Wars.
Yeah, bring it back to Star Wars. We need to start. Yeah, we always kind of space out those series episodes like every few months. Now we're going to be finishing up the prequels, but there's a lot more Star Wars after that. But finally, we're out of the shitty prequels. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to actually talk about Revenge of the Sith, and I think we all are.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you everyone for listening. That's Ursula signing off. See you guys.
Thank you, everyone. Go watch Uncut Gems. Please do it. And let us know what you think. Comment on one of our posts. Wherever you see it, comment. Let us know what you think. This is John signing off.
Andrew signing off.